Okay, we're back in Blogger. I'm in the dashboard and I've added a few posts, and I want to show you a couple of features that are nice to use in Blogger. Let's first take a look at my posts here. You can see that I have a total of 4 posts here. So what I'm going to do is set up some labels so that people can sort of look at those by category. To do that, we're going to go to the Layout tab. To add labels to any post, click on the post, and over on the right, go to Post Settings, and click on Labels. And you can make up your own labels. You can add several if you need to. And so I'm going to call this one, since this post is related to projects, call this one Resources. These are some web links to a project or something. And I'll click Done. So Resources is a label. It's been attached to this post. So I'm going to update the post. And let's go ahead and you can see Resources shows up right there. And let's do this other one. And this one is a classroom update. So I'm going to call this one Classroom Update. And we'll update the post. Okay, the Pencils project. We'll call this one Resources. I can just click on this link right here to add that to my list and click Done. And then this post here is a classroom update. So we'll go to Labels and I'll click Classroom Update. So any labels that I create show up in this list down here, and I can just click them to add. So I'll click Done. Okay, so all that's changed so far is you can see there's a little notification next to each post that it has a label to it. So how is that useful? Let's move over to the Layout settings. The layout is a representation of your entire blog page. And so there's a navigation bar at the top, there's a header. There's nothing here in this section, but you could add it. This is the main area where the blog posts show up. And over here is the sidebar where you see the About Me and the Blog Archive. And the archive is where it shows you which posts were made in which month. I want to add a gadget. And there's all kinds of gadgets you can add. Right now we're just going to add one called Labels. And I'll click the plus symbol to add it. There's some settings here. I'm going to change the title of this one. We're going to call it Topics. And I'll leave everything else the same. And I'll click Save. Now you can drag your gadgets around. So I'm going to put Topics on the bottom. So About Me is at the top, then the Archive, and then Topics. I'm going to save this arrangement. And now that that's been changed, let's go ahead and view the blog. Okay, on the front page of the blog, all my posts are here, and there's 4 of them so far. The oldest one's at the bottom, the newest one's at the top. And over here on the right, you can see there's a Topics. And so this is the gadget I just added. If I click on Classroom Update, it only shows me 2 posts. And those are the posts that I tagged with Classroom Update. In fact, you can see the label list at the bottom of the post there, Classroom Update. And then if I click on Resources, it only shows me posts that I tagged with our resources. So that's how labels work, and that's how gadgets work. Those are really useful. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of really important settings for your blog. When you click on Settings, you start on the Basic Settings page. That's where you can change the title of your blog and set some privacy controls. So this is important. You can choose not to add your blog to bloggers' listings. And keep it out of search engines if you want to. So it depends on really if you have like student involvement, you may want to adjust those. Moving down here to the bottom, here is a permissions section, and you have a blog authors area. You can add authors by typing in email addresses, and you could add students to your blog, and then they could post their own posts and things like that. Another control that could be useful is adding blog readers. By default, your blog is public. You can edit that, and you can make it private, and then you can add whoever you want to be able to access it for reading. So you could have a blog that's only for students to look at, and you can add all your students as readers, and then they can access it. Nobody else can see it. Under Posts, Comments, and Sharing, there are some controls for whether or not you can let people comment. And here's a couple to pay attention to. You can set it so that only members of the blog can comment. That way you don't get random people writing on your blog. And then underneath, I would add comment moderation. And that means that you can put your email address in here. And if a comment shows up on the blog, it goes to your email address and you have to approve it before it gets posted on the blog. So that's really useful. Okay, there's other items you can poke around in here. Those are the big ones. If you make any changes, make sure you click Save Settings. And down here under Other, if you ever want to delete your blog, you can click Delete Blog to get rid of it totally. Okay, if you click on My Blogs, you can always create another blog. You can have several blogs here going at once. So those are the most important features and settings that will help you get started.